It's that rifle of Shiro here to help. This could be a really nice crossfire between these two.
Well, enters at the ready, blinded, still lightly blinded, is able to get away with a kill on drop. Ketzrada puts him in the ground, but Shiro plays from bench. They've dived out the window. Two players close to the site already. Shiro still here undetected. Bomb now loose in the open. Reads the play on Safe. Does damage, but doesn't bring him down. And Safe is looking for the follow-up kill. He is good to get it. Nafany out of play. It is just Hobbit who started his flying through Palace, who is now starting to come through the apartments. The problem is he's on the MP9. Art is low enough. Yeah, there's an AK there. Doesn't want to give away his position, wants to creep and get close, and with the element of surprise, he's looking for the pick on towards Art. Now he goes over the top, and Art position with a crouch makes it difficult for Hobbit to see him, and the kill is there for Furia to find the first round.
It was a nice play from Shiro initially, hiding at the back of bench, because you could see that Furia assumed if there was a second player there, he would help and try and hold this crossfire with Inters as Keserato got the trade. So he did a pretty nice job at denying the bomb plant. It was just a shame that he didn't get a couple of players appear in his crosshair. He could only get the one frag before being traded. Remember though, that was the bonus for Cloud9. They kept it close. Now almost all the money being spent by both teams, and Shiro has gone full glass cannon to get that all.
Ooh. Art taking a lot of control. Right away, gets spotted by Nafany on the edge of that smoke. Art could not see him. Nafany spotted enough to start rattling shots away. No pick. Shiro committed towards triple, and look how deep the Furia players are in. Yuri has done a lot of work. Nafany and Shiro both fall to him. Hobbit's tucking in towards Firebox. Art goes out for the swing in mid. He's got up into the ladder room, and Axel, not aware, goes down because of it. And Hobbit realizes more is needed from him.
Art was in such a strong position. He heard the rotate. He told his teammates not to fight because he knew he was in a good spot. The bomb is still down on ramp though, so they can't go back to B right now. Hobbit can get this control, and that means this round is still on the cards for Cloud9. It's awkward for Furia to group up and trade some of these angles too. And I don't know if they realize Inters is still at the back of the site right now.
It's all about the patience. Inter certainly knows they're towards him, but it's the time that they have to go back and get the bomb, and they're clueless about Inters, and now they won't be. The trade comes in from Palace, and that should be good enough because Hobbit on top of the bomb, they have to cut to him, and look at that from Safe. A lovely headshot yet again. 2-2 tied up. A couple of moments there where maybe looked like Cloud9 could still pick it up, but Furia stay composed and get the result they wanted, and that puts Cloud9 into a difficult position economically.
Safe's rifle is looking saucy today. He's been having some nice rounds with the AK. First kill standard. This one, ooh, barely saw anything from Hobbit, but he knew the last CT likely was playing towards the bomb in ramp. Something that I've pointed out is Cloud9 have a couple of players who are really high rated on the pistol rounds. They oftentimes can get off to those strong starts. That happens here, and yet still it's Furia who are about to get the lead. Peeking out, Shiro domes him with the USP. Drop already has taken a lot of ground. That's a problem here for Cloud9. They'll have to deal with that. The rifle chaws their way through them. Shiro has AK. Not going to see much from that. Inchers take that and try to run away with it, but they're not letting that happen. They're not letting any mercy go the way of Cloud9 as Furia now take the lead on Mirage. Money will start to be injected back into play here for Cloud9, and Shiro is going to want this all about Hawker. Yeah, and his money wasn't in a position where he could have it without having to buy anything else, basically. So that's always a tough spot to be in. For Furia, we've already seen... Oh, that was a nice shot. We've already seen the mid control be established in that early gun round. They just used solid utility, and Cloud9 couldn't counter it. But this time, Cloud9 have got a couple of players towards mid. They might try and contest this a little later on in the round. Switch up from Furia though. They themselves are spreading out into a default rather than heavily committing to that early mid fight. This is nice, isn't it? A nice calm start to the round. You don't get this often with Furia.
No, you don't. It's a more tentative approach for sure, but here comes that smoke out from Safe in towards middle. Art is trying to get
get a little closer to the B apartments and get into the mix a little bit. But the key position here is how far Hobbit's pushed into his ramp. That's going to be massive. Shiro's fight might just start here in middle. Missed shot. Can't really stick around too much longer here, and he considers the underpass play. With the utility being used up, he peeks out, finds drop, and gives the advantage to Cloud9.
Art still trying to make a play towards B. Intaz is normally so good at surviving as this B site anchor. That's what he has to do here. He has to buy time, and he might buy enough time because Shiro is actually rotating over to B because Hobbit's gone aggressive towards A. They're ready on this B site now.
Shiro brings back the AWP, looking to fortify.
Do they know Art's so far up, though? That's the question right now.
Yeah, that could be the problem because he's out of the crosshair of Shiro. If he continues to push forward, he would clear that. But Shiro is holding for his teammates to come in. Spots out one. Yuri is down. But like you said, Art is beyond the crosshair already. He is so deep into the site. He has so many angles he has to check. And they have the contingency to deal with him. Safe is trying to line some crucial shots in the apartment for Furia. The flank is coming in around the other side from Hobbit's pushed up position. He's got in behind him quickly, and the time is 6 seconds. Safe does not want to go down after the time, and well, luckily he won't. Spam through and taken out. Cloud9 fortify the B site, and it's impenetrable for Furia.
This is something that Cloud9 had as a huge benefit for them on Mirage. Last year, I remember looking up some of the numbers. They had a couple of players who were literally the best rated at holding their spots. Hobbit was the best rated A anchor in the world. Shiro was the best rated AWPer in the world. I think those numbers will have dipped down since then, but they're still just very proficient at holding their specific positions. And I do expect Cloud9 to be able to put up a good CT side here. We're starting to see that come through already. And this is looking like, at least in my eyes, it could be a much closer map with the early back and forth we've had.
Yeah, it's been good to see Cloud9 remaining competitive. Shiro finally starting to get a bit of impact as well. That was something that was missing on Vertigo. Onto the window. Axel's going to go quickly, taking some mid control. Yuri sending some util out towards mid. Nafany making his way forward to top mid to try and fight, and it's not going to go his way. Yuri comes out on top of the battle, but Art is starting to move forward. Again, solo, getting deep into enemy lines. He's just spotted the shoulder of Hobbit. He can track him down to the lower wood, but Hobbit still somehow comes out on top of the fight.
Now Keserato might try his luck, but he's actually decided against it. He's concerned that there could be players elsewhere helping Hobbit on that A side of the map. So a 4v4, but as the boost comes in, Yuri will be toppled by Axile. Furia now need to figure out what their end goal can be in this round. They have mid, but there are still Cloud9 players hanging around. Shiro was looking for even more.
Yeah, Shiro is going for a couple of attempts now, starting to get confident. You can see it with just how he's approaching each and every round, but Shiro's worried about multiple positions here. He was so close to getting an opportunity onto the stairs fight with Hobbit going down. Shiro has to peek, and he has dropped the bomb towards the stairway, and with the bomb being down, Furia's pressure now increases. They have to try and get that back, and they have to cut through the numbers and thin the herd, and that deep jungle smoke gives them some cover to move forward and try and get the bomb back and drop clean to the headshot. Pops Axel's head like a grape, and now it's Shiro trying to make the 1v2 happen. He just can't do it, and Furia, they recover the round.
What a comeback in the round from Furia there. They had to make a call quickly. They had to make up their minds fast, and they decided to split that A site. Drop was really quick at making that play through the connector smoke, and that was key because it got them into a position where they could make Shiro uncomfortable in from jungle. Shiro couldn't commit as easily. Hobbit was kind of isolated then on that A site, which is what they needed to get back into the round. And then from there, they're able to predict the position of the rest of the Cloud9 players. Furia back into the lead and back on top of the economy game.
Oh, that is rapid from Art right through the underpass. Nafany's skull gets shattered. And just like that, Furia can go back into the darkness of the night. Continue to play out this round with the time, but Hobbit, ooh, gotta love the sound of that, and the vision of it even better. Keserato gets snapped in half. AK now picked up off his corpse. Spoil of war for Hobbit. he'll back away.
Fury are happy to take some time. After Art took some early damage, they're into the 4v4. AK has been recovered by Hobbit, and that could allow Cloud9 to be more comfortable, leaving these pistols stacked more heavily towards B. That's a brilliant shot from Drop though, and it opens up mid, which gives Furia plenty of options in this round. Now Hobbit's decided, down in a 3v4, he would rather stack with his teammates. And it's down to whether or not Furia can figure this out. Well, actually, Hobbit's gonna try and beat that molly. The bomb's still undecided here, 27 seconds. He's gonna push B, but as he goes down, now the bomb surely goes A, and it's up to Hobbit.
Yeah, Fury making this a little harder than it needs to be, perhaps. Taking their time, putting themselves in an uncomfortable position. Eventually put the bomb down around the other side of triple. But the 2 AKs have been picked up here for Cloud9. The issue is for them, the lack of Kevlar utility and kit. So a lot still going for Furia here. They still should be able to recover this round. It has got a little messy. We'll see how Cloud9 approach this. They're hoping for a mistake in extension, but it's not coming in.
Yeah, it's save time.
Yeah, they got to save. He never got in a position to compete in the retake scenario, but all things considered, Hawkeye, I think you've got to be happy if you're Cloud9.
It's decent damage in a game that has been real touch and go, that has been real close. Furia will have to reinvest almost all their money, and Cloud9 themselves will obviously have plenty of cash to get a very strong buy together. Finally, Shiro should be able to get the AWP with Kevlar, which will be nice. Axel had enough money to drop that over. It's that shot from Hobbit. It's never easy as the A anchor. At times you get left completely alone. You have to be aware of Palace and ramp. I think Hobbit is really good at knowing how to isolate some of those angles, be aware of some of those specific positions. Another gun round at the ready. Shiro has been looking for those AWP fights at mid. This time he drops down.
Four. Nafty rattling. 2 shots into middle.
Bombs at B right now. Looks like a fast B burst.
And this Inters that will pass to that alongside Axel. Good for one is Axel. Inters now has to pick up the rest of the scraps. And Shiro was actually, this is wild. He's gone into the fight with a P250. He's dinked him up. He's got the AWP on his back, by the way. And he's committed all the way up through the underpass. He got himself in a bit of a sticky position. He's still trying to get that kill. Eventually will. Doubles up. Shiro, I suppose, well, you've got yourself in a position where you're getting some wild kills and puts it into a 1 versus 1. Nafany looking to secure the round for Cloud9.
And he has the bomb up in the apartments. That is not an easy position for Yuri to get back into. Having said that, Nafany's going all the way back, trying to play this headshot position. So he is letting Yuri get up into the apartments itself. There's still 50 seconds though, so in theory, Yuri could be going elsewhere, and the longer he leaves it, the more chance that Nafany starts to consider other options. Yeah, Nafany's looking underpass right now. But does Yuri have the balls to push the smoke? Well, now he's given away his position, and he actually gets the bomb back.
Well, you know, he sees a smoke, he takes one look at Art, and Art's just like, if you don't do that, you're not on my team. And so he's gone and picked up the bomb, smacked it down on the site. Now Nafany starts to think about, oh, his shot. He's given away the position. Now element of surprise no longer exists, and Yuri decides to fight. 3 secured. Furia with the round. What a wild play from Shiro. That is the main talking point for me in that round. Nearly works out. Just comes down to the clutch, and Yuri is able to send it.
Yeah, that's the most unorthodox double kill you ever see out of Shiro. No AWP kills in the round, a molly kill and a P250. And then Yuri did such a good job here. I mean, this is ballsy to get the bomb back, but look at this instant decision to go up on top of the bench. As soon as he heard the shot come his way, he knew he could just play the off angle, catch that player out. And now look at Cloud9's buy. It is very awkward.
Well, Art is just running. He is just running right through the smoke. He's running pushed up beside Sandwich. Shiro has taken his teammate out, so perhaps Art will feel almost obligated to get this kill back. And oh, okay, here we go, Art. This is what you love to see from him. Hello, Nafany. Ah, there we go.
Almost felt like he wanted to go into his vision there. Hello. Safe for taking Axel out. On the kill from Hobbit is finally come back to CZ rattling, but it's not great at this range against Caserado.
Oh.
Luckily, Shiro elsewhere got a pick, and Caserado's under pressure.
Molly to the side should get this kill for Caserado. Back to the 2v2. But Furia have been so spread in this round that Shiro's been able to isolate fights, bring this into a close scenario. Furia decide it's finally time to stick together, but if Inters is aware that they could be coming back, this MP9 can shred in this position. They're going to go back Palace, though. Smart stuff from Furia, but Inters has pushed all the way through, so he's going to get the information. And the question is, does Shiro commit to anything? I think he's just going to play passive, concede the bomb plant, but Inters' flank could be pretty quick here. And Furia still feel like they have to clear the site.
The drop is gone towards the plant. Shiro about to peek out to the right side. Brings down drop. Caserado now left in a 1 versus 2.
I think they know he's Palace. They cleared almost everything else.
You see how Inters is getting primed, ready to jump up, so the tap will come up. He should come up straight away. And Caserado can't take him out quickly enough, so that defuse is just being stuck around the corner. He's gone around, he's got the headshot. And Caserado's gone back into Palace. He's down to 3 HP, but he's still sticking around. He's pulling Inters into the fight. The shots from the USP. He's going to drop back onto the defuse. He's going to hold it through. AWP picked up in the mix as well. He has got no kit on his back. He's just going to hold it, and the time is going to be there for it. 4 rounds for Cloud9. And it gets a little bit messy there, but able to be pulled through for C9.
And that was a round where they didn't have a great investment, but I think with the way Furia play and spread across the map in a lot of rounds, these are the rounds that can get messy sometimes. When you're against the pistols, when there is one AWP against you, it's an awkward buy. And yet Cloud9 can find a lot of nice fights for themselves. Shiro had a lot of impact, just slowly finding fights one by one. And then you see Shiro at the end, realized it was a scenario where he thought he'd set up Inters initially, but Inters made up for it later. And that's Axel on the AWP with a quick kill.
You'll sometimes see Shiro take this position, but Axel having a go.
3 AWPs, by the way.
Yeah, it feels like I'm watching Furia at this point on the CT side. The amount of AWPs out in play. Gonna work out for the first pick. Shiro is playing towards connector with his. Scoped down into the lower area. Smoke's going to cancel them out, gives information as to where Anop is playing, but whether or not they know how many there are is a different question.
Well, they've seen Axels at least, so they've got to be aware there should be 2. Assuming that Shiro has one. Oh, boosted. Shiro spotted. Might not be a fight he wants to take. He hears that jump up. I don't think you're in this fight. Wow, he hit that. He hit that wall bang. Oh, he's hit it again! I thought he might just get the kill out right there. Smart from Shiro, gets Yuri out of that position. Now it's up to the connector play.
Smoke goes down to Khan again, that slows it further.
35 seconds too.
Furia frustrated by this. It looked like they wanted to walk on that one. And another smoke comes down. Nafany is primed. He is absolutely ready for any play that is about to come through connector with 25 seconds left. Furia can't afford to drop the ball too much here. Nafany, 1 kill. I think Furia will have to be okay with that. Shiro, the next play they've got to deal with it is 1 for 1 all across the board here. Finally, Hobbit gets something done, and the other AWP rings out from short. The sheer amount of AWPs here coming through and winning the round for Cloud9.
I think the AWPs are actually pretty decent against Furia's style, though, because Furia haven't been going for full site takes, full site executes. Those AWPs are going to struggle when you get into retake scenarios, or when you have a scenario where it's a full site take and you have to fall back. But Furia have been playing pretty spread and pretty default so far, so actually those AWPs can be a pretty good counter to that. Now Furia are back to a lower buy, though, and this is where we could see those quicker plays thrown in, this time to the B-bomb site.
Axel looking to pick them apart. It's Inters and Axel with a couple, another one. Axel's displaying great antics on the AWP. Good mechanical abilities. He stops to play forward. Deeg has landed a couple of pieces here and there. Switched out to Nafany will have no problem in dealing with this kind of buy. And that's going to be tied on up.
Bro, if this was MM, I'd have called a B rush, and this would be the random right here. Sitting at mid. What's he doing? He's going to get a chance. That was a nice try. They were just looking to do damage in that one. But it's Cloud9 who have brought it back to an even scoreline. Yeah. Really nice AWPing from Axile. Quick adjustments. Don't see him with the AWP too often, but nice to see that he can wield it effectively. And he is going to continue with the sniper in his hands. As for Furia, that was a full investment. They were hoping the B burst could win them the round and maybe cause some issues for Cloud9. Instead, it goes the other way. And now they have just a couple of Deegs to try and make some miracles happen.
Furia have been known to pull a couple of those off.
Yeah. Look, Jesus turned water into wine. Furia are looking to turn 4 Deegs into a round win. I don't know which miracle's better. Probably turning water into wine, but...
Yeah, I think it's probably got it.
That's a high tier miracle, right?
That's S tier.
Yeah.
Well, Art about to be run boost out in towards mid window to fight with the Deagle. Cloud9 using range to their advantage, and Hobbit covering off his teammate towards COD. You can see Naf never really at risk there. Even wanted to throw utility, never at risk. Alone has the rifle support of his teammate.
Fury are getting they're getting these window boosts though.
Yeah, they're getting into that. And there's a couple of times that Cloud9 have kind of lost track of that. Art's been finding a few timings. Yuri as well getting in the mix. Nafany finally sees a bit of the shoulder peek around the corner. Is able to react in time. It's 1 for safe, but the rest go Cloud9's way. And they head into the lead.
That CT side is looking good for Cloud9. They've been able to step it up as this half has gone on. Timeout taken in this one. It is Furia who are hoping to finish this half with a couple more rounds. Again, if you have just joined us, Furia up by 1 map. They are on their own map choice now of Mirage, but as we heard the devs point out earlier, it didn't feel like Furia had a clear punish pick here. They had to pick a map that they themselves are very strong and very comfortable on, but also one that Cloud9 are competent on and very happy to play. So it really comes down to who can be the best on a map that is good for both teams. So far, Cloud9 with the slight edge, but still anyone's game. And we'll see if Furia have any adjustments. They've already gone for a couple of smokes towards mid. I think they're aware that those AWPs are in play now, so they don't want to give away any of those early picks. This is a switch up from Shiro, though.
He's going to be holding patiently. Caserado not giving him the fight just yet.
Shiro is a very patient man. He'll sit here for a while.
That is true. It's a test, a true test of Caserado's willpower. If he does go into the fight, it would be from an awkward side, and Shiro should have the advantage to take him out, but Shiro has actually elected to start to back away from that. Throws utility instead. Smoke goes up to it. Looks like Fury at the ready for the execute. The smoke's being dropped in towards A. Shiro's not in a comfortable spot here, playing from default with the AWP. He's going to be under a lot of pressure eventually.
I think they're waiting for the mid players to start to move into connector, and that's what's going to make this uncomfortable.
Art's done very well coming through the connector, has removed Hobbit's life. Art doubling up. Now pressure really is on Shiro. He's about to be attacked from 2 sides. And there we go. Art just comes right through. Shiro couldn't focus on Art's position because there were so many other players he had to worry about, and his defense really didn't help him out. His support network crumbled. And Inters has to save this one away. Furia will tie it up.
Quite a cool way of going for the A play there. Furia didn't put much presence on mid with players initially, but once the A execute came in, that's when the mid players started to move up towards connector. And by throwing the A execute into play, Cloud9 had to look away from mid briefly. That gave this timing window for Art to sneak into connector. And you see that Cloud9 aren't really sure what to do. They were thinking they wanted to commit to the A site to defend that, but really, the spear of the attack ended up being through connector. It was just way later than Cloud9 were expecting because they hadn't spotted any players towards mid sooner. So that's a really cool way of sort of layering the strat and slightly throwing some misdirection in there from Furia, and it worked out wonderfully with Art getting all the impact. That's why you take the timeouts, man. You come out with stuff like that. Give me timeouts more often.
Update from the B stream, 5-1 for Vitality. 1 map up in the series over Mouse. If you want to watch that one, ESL_CSGO B. Looking good for Vitality at the moment. On this stream, 7-7. A map up for Furia. Keeping it very close and competitive throughout this entire half. Question to be answered the remainder round is which team will go into the second with 1 round lead. Hobbit taking damage down to 33.
Solid nade lands onto Art, but it's the underpass play that may be the first contact.
Blinded, Nafany forced away, shielded by the smoke again. Once the flash effect wears off, he can go back into the peak again, but starting to feel worried because that smoke will fade away.
Big presence on mid from both teams. No fights yet. There's the wide swing, and Safe comes in with the first kill.
Yeah, that's big from Safe. Kesserado getting the pick on Hobbit. Shiro finally getting something here for Cloud9, but it's not going to be enough to keep them competitive in the round. They're going to need much more where that came from, being a player down here. Nafany and Shiro have taken a lot of damage as well. 55 seconds on this clock for Furia to play with.
Nafany's just rotated over to A. Shiro will look towards mid, but a couple of players low on the Cloud9 side. Furia still haven't got an end goal in mind, though. 45 seconds, they remain very spread across the map. And that could be costly for them if they try and lean into B right now. Yes, it is only Inters here, but there's only 2 Furia players actually in position to take this B site. The other 2 are kind of trying to fake A.
You can quickly go through jungle and split the B side from 2 sides if that is called for, but Nafany is under a good bit of pressure trying to keep the players here. Kesserada's done a fantastic job at taking down Shiro. It is still that one player, but here comes that split onto Inters.
Low time.
Drop is coming in from the market. He has to worry about the apartments drop. There is very low time here for Furia, but unfortunately, not enough can be done to delay. It will be Furia that go into the second half with the 1 round lead. Join us after the break to see how this one will end up.
Hey Future Pros, we have another execute for you and your friends to learn. This execute will help when you are taking the B site on Mirage. For this setup, you will need at least 3 Future Pros and 3 smokes and optionally a bunch of flashes. Let's break this down. Future Pro number 1, you'll be throwing one of the arch smokes. To do this, line yourself up with this corner of the cracked stone floor. Aim at the left side of this dark squarish smudge on the wall, then simply jump throw the smoke. Since you threw this from close to mid, I would recommend wrapping around cat to get to B or maybe holding off rotations in mid. Future Pro number 2, you will throw the other arch smoke. To do this, line up with the middle part of this window. Aim to the sky and position your crosshair so it is in the middle of the antenna and the overhang. Then throw the smoke normally. Future Pro number 3, you will be smoking off the window leading into the B side. To throw the smoke, get yourself into this corner. Aim at the corner of this large tower, then jump throw the smoke. Nice and easy. With all 3 of these smokes thrown, taking the B side should be much easier than it would be without them. To make this even easier on your team, get your players to lob as many flashes as possible over the top of B. And as always, good luck.
It's Furia with a slight lead as we head into our second half. Furia will be now on the defensive side, Cloud9 on the T side. One map lead for Furia as they head into this. The pressure certainly is going to be on Cloud9, Holger.
Absolutely. Furia pretty comfortable with their map choice. Sure, it is close, but they will be feeling like they've given themselves every chance to take this series 2-0. Making sure they are fully in the zone for this second half. It will be Cloud9 switching over to that T side, taking some utility and potentially taking a play out of Furia's strat book. Couple of smokes into A for Stairs and Jungle. This time with 3 players out through Palace, though, ready to pop.
Ready to pop indeed. It's going to be an explosive start to the second half here. Cloud9 sending utility over. Wall and smoke's already created. A little gap for Kesserado to try and spot out towards Sandwich, but he's pushed to the right side, and he realizes the timer is on the play to look for that. It's one for Kesserado, put in the ground by Inters with a swift reply. Cloud9 looking to establish some CT control, waiting on the flash. Yuri was able to dodge it, so still just looking for fights, and it's scrappy. No kills coming in yet in this engagement.
Part is here to help him. Molly comes in. Yuri gets both of those kills, and now Shiro needs to make a heads-up play.
Well, it's 2 already for Shiro.
They've got a kit, though.
Yeah, Art has the kit on the back, and they're quickly moving their way into the site. Shiro spotted, pinned at Tetris. They swing together, they get the headshot, and with the kit, they'll get back to the defuse. Furia sticking it through, and that's a good start to the second half. Cloud9 going to be disappointed about that.
They got the bomb down. They brute forced the bomb site, but Keserato plopped this smoke down himself, played behind it pretty well to just get 1 kill.